Hey guys, this is Vasyl from the B-Dance, and in today's episode, I'd like to talk with you about the employee retention credits and the way to get out of the mess created by the aggressive marketers. So it's a very important topic because a lot of companies suffered a lot of damage from the aggressive marketers for these credits. So now there is a big mess. So the question is, how do we get out from this mess? So this is what this episode is going to be about. So listen to the end to make sure you understand if your company or any other company got itself in the trouble with the employee retention credit. It's especially important for you to listen to the end of this video. So when all this mess with the employee retention credit started and people were saying, oh, look, everybody should apply for the employee retention credits because it's so easy. And these aggressive marketers were saying that basically anybody qualifies. And they were saying, we can apply for you, just give us some basic payroll documentation, we're gonna take care of that. But that's not true. Not all companies qualified. Due diligence had to be done first to make sure if this company is truly qualified. Well, if these aggressive marketers wanted to get their fee, and often it was like crazy fee, like of 30%, and without doing much work, so they thought it was easy money for them. But if you don't do due diligence like that, and you don't dot your I's and check your T's, you get to the point where now the IRS published another notice the other week stressing the point of the enforcement of the situations where the companies didn't truly qualify for the credits. Now the IRS is going after them. So initially when all this mess was unfolding, I was thinking to myself, what's the best way to warn the clients? And I did let them know and made them aware. But on the other hand, I knew that it's going to persist because people's psychology works in such a way that people weigh a carrot and say, hey, basically it's easy money from the government. Then people tend to buy it from aggressive marketers like that. I was talking with a friend another day, and he reinforced the concept. We were talking about something. We were actually talking about kids, and the idea is if you really prohibit your kid from doing something, say, hey, don't do this, they actually gonna do it even more. But if you let them do it, and you're like, hey, then they look at you and they think you're gonna punish them or say no, but you're like, go ahead, enjoy yourself. So it's like my son took a chalk and he started writing and drawing some squiggly things on the wall. and my wife was like, why do you let him draw on the wall? I'm like, that's his art. So anyway, if you just go along with the process, eventually kids and people will get bored and they wouldn't do it, or they will learn their own consequences. So in this situation with the ERC, I saw that the principle, whatever you resist persists, holds true also. Because if you tell people, hey, don't listen to these aggressive marketers because it's strong, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Often what it does, it reinforces people's desire to go that way because they think that you're trying to hold them from something good. So we often have unintended consequences like that. So my understanding was okay, there is this massive wave of these aggressive marketers is going to unfold, and when the bottom is going to fall out, that's where I can come in to help people solve this mess. And the advantage of working with our firm is that we have a lawyer on the team too. So it's not just a CPA team or a lawyer team, but we have a lawyer and a CPA working together to make sure we can help you sort it out, make sure if you were eligible or not, or if you were partially entitled to the credit, part has to be returned, but we can sort it out for you and close the page. Yes, I know it's unpleasant because you already spent money from these aggressive marketers. I'm not sure if you can recoup them. Hopefully you can recoup it, but the sad truth is a lot of them may not be able to recoup those fees that you already paid, and now you have to sort out this mess. But you see, the thing is that we here can examine your case and help you sort it out with the IRS so that you can close this page, say, okay, this is over, we reached some sort of settlement, let's close the page and move on. Let's move on to our regular business, focus our energy on our operations, because you cannot afford spending much time and taking your time from operations. You want to find legitimate, knowledgeable professionals who can fix it for you, who can sort it out, reach a settlement, so that you can just move on with your firm and with your life. Then the similar principle, you see I wrote in the board, whatever you resist persists, but that's point number 2. I don't know why I started with point number 2, because now I realize, you see, it's good to take notes, because you see, apparently I want to say Wu Wei principle first, which means in Chinese, do nothing. So like with these aggressive marketers, yes, of course, we should do our due diligence for the clients and inform them properly. So the IRS published, so the American Institute of CPAs and the CPA professional CPA community were advocating for the clients, say, hey, watch out, beware of these aggressive schemes. The ERC even made it to the list of the IRS Dirty Dozen. What is IRS Dirty Dozen? That's a dozen most abusive tax shelters and strategies that were used in that particular year. So like for this year, employee retention credit made it to that list because there was so much abuse in that space. And with that Wu Wei do nothing principle, it goes back to saying that ultimately some companies would just be attracted for that easy gain or easy way to get money, because the prevailing thought was, well, if the government was issuing PPP loans and idle, and those were pretty straightforward, the companies thought, oh, government is giving money left and right, so it's kind of similar. But this one is a different program, and much more time passed since that time. And now the government has more time to review these cases. Not only employee retention credits, but they're also reviewing PPP eligibility, and PPP loans, and idle loans, and RRF, Restaurant Revitalization Fund grants. The SBA and IRS are reviewing the eligibility of people for for these loans and credits. So that's where we come in. We can help you sort it out and make sure that you get out of this mess. So that's the main message for you. If you're one of those companies finding yourself in this situation, there is no reason to wait, because sometimes we use Wu Wei because we do nothing. Other times there is time to take action. So and aggressive action. So like those aggressive marketers were selling you some of these strategies that didn't work. One of the ways to counter is through aggressive action to get yourselves out of that mess. And yes, I know you're frustrated, you're disappointed because you find yourself in a hole now, and now it takes time from you. You're risking taking time from your operations. So in order not to do all of that, do yourselves a favor and hire a professional, verified professional, where you check the licenses and credentials, you do your due diligence in those professionals to make sure they are legit, and work with those professionals to solve that issue. And again, our advantage here at Achieve Tax Relief and and the BDANS is that we combine legal and CPA expertise, so we can take a holistic approach to tackling your case. So that's the gist of this episode on employee retention credits. Hope you're doing well here at the end of the year, and since it is the end of the year, it is a great time to take care of any tax changes and any tax strategy implementations, because the year is almost over, so the time is limited to incorporate any changes. So if you do want to incorporate any of the last minute changes before the end of the year, we can advise you and help with that too. So enjoy your holiday season, you know, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah. Enjoy this season, but at the same time, remember that this may be the last couple of weeks to implement any tax changes, to do any brush up work before the year is over. Take care, guys, and till the next time, cool bees.